It's 5:42, and tonight on Daily Wellness, we welcome Monique Beneteau. She's a health promoter with the Peterborough County City Health Unit. We also have Paul Brown, and he is with the United Way of Peterborough. What is your position with United Way?
I'm a coordinator of labor programs and services.
Okay, well that makes a perfect fit then, because we're talking about a Good Jobs Summit and good jobs versus precarious jobs. And now, Monique, when I think of precarious jobs, I think the firefighters over there, and actually some of our reporters, in fact, and some of the precarious positions they're put in. But this isn't what we're discussing.
No, precarious employment, the way that the research is describing it, has certain characteristics. So people who are working part-time, who would rather work full-time but are forced to work part-time, maybe multiple jobs, they're contract workers, maybe workers working with temporary agencies. And what makes it precarious is that there's not a lot of predictability around that work, so they're not sure what hours they might be able to work, what employer they might be working for in a particular day, what kind of work, if it's risky work, all those kinds of things.
So what is considered to be a good job?
Well, that's the question we want to ask the public at our event next week. But some of that research shows that people who have access to, predictable hours and wages, that also have access to benefits, pensions, all those kinds of things that just give us some security so that we're not always stressing out about whether or not we're going to have enough money to pay our bills and buy good food and those kinds of things.
That's right.
Now, Paul, this is something that has connected back to a major summit that took place in Toronto. Who were some of the players that were part of that, and why did you want to bring it here?
There were a number of community partners in the Toronto area that brought that summit together. There was Organized Labor, Unifor, Canadian Federation of Students, Ryerson University. So they brought corporations like GE was there, Canadian National Railroad, to have a discussion about this going forward. And it's gone out to other communities here in Peterborough, but also Kingston and Oshawa have done this as well.
So is this a way of kind of getting feedback from the public so that we can steer other businesses into our area to provide these sorts of jobs? Because, I mean, to me it sounds like, yeah, there's a good job out there, but how am I going to get it? Because there are no jobs out there.
Good question. I think we're just getting this conversation started in Peterborough, and so I think it's about first finding out what are those issues. There's a great big research that's been done. Actually, it's called Precarity Penalty. It was done by McMaster University with the United Way in Toronto. So one of the people from United Way Toronto is coming to talk about this research next Tuesday night. So we have a sense of what's happening in that area. We want to know, does that translate to what's happening here in Peterborough? We're not Toronto. So what are those issues first? And what are the things that we might be able to do here locally in our community to address this work? And I think bringing together businesses to talk with people who are trying to find employment, including also our Trent and Fleming folks, right, about what kind of training are we providing to young folks too?
Well, is it possible that some of this, ideally good jobs might be out of range for some employers? I mean, we have a lot of startups and a lot of entrepreneurs in this market. We're actually banking on many of them. Can they provide this kind of work?
Well, I think if you look at our past history, the employee-employer relationship had that sort of social contract where the worker was paid a decent wage, had some benefits, some job security. So there are many employers in the area that do provide that, and there's no reason why going forward we can't model jobs with those kind of characteristics.
Absolutely. Well, the Good Job Summit is coming up on June 16th. Where is it going to be held and what time?
The Peterborough Naval Association on Whitlaw Street. It starts at 5:30 p.m.
All right, and then right after you can go and catch the X-Files over at Dinner on King.
That's a whole Tuesday night plan.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, guys. I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of this.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
roundtable's coming up after the break.